Okay, I will continue with the V1 cos alpha 1 how to resolve. So as I told VR1 from the diagram above where the cursor is shown, are you able to see the video now? Screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So VR1 cos beta 1, if you just analyze, I can write it as, what I can write it as in terms of V1 cos alpha 1 as U plus X, or I can write it as VU1 minus U. Same thing is analyzed here. So VR1 cos beta 1 can be written as VU1 minus U is nothing but VU1. I can write it as V1 cos alpha 1. Entire component of V1 is VU1, V1 cos alpha 1 minus U. So this thing is substituted in the delta VU. Means in delta VU, I am writing both in terms of constants with respect to VR2, VR1, cos beta 1, cos beta 2, V1, alpha 1, and U. All together, we are going to combine now. So I am going to write it as VR1 cos beta 1 as V1 cos alpha 1 minus U into bracket 1 plus CBK. CB into K remains as it is. Okay. Now, work done, we know all of you that velocity of the blade into change in the work component, that is delta VU. So that I have written with the multiplication of U. Then blade efficiency, because the derivation what we are doing is for the maximum blade efficiency, not for the work done, not for the delta VU, or not for the kinetic energy. So combined equation is nothing but blade efficiency, that is work done by input kinetic energy v1 square by 2. So everything is per kg, so mass we have not considered here. Now this blade efficiency, I can write it as v1 square by 2, whatever is in the denominator, I can write it as 2 into vu, and taking v1 common outside, so I can write v1 outside cos alpha 1 minus u by v1. So why I have taken u by v1, all of you know that is nothing but speed ratio, u by v1, blade speed by steam speed or the fluid speed is speed ratio into 1 plus cbk divided by v1 square is left as it is. Now from this we need to find out for what maximum value of either u by v1 or phi you can say, or for alpha 1 you can say, or for cb you can say, or for k you can say, the blade efficiency is maximum. So means what I can do, I have to derive this, take the differentiation of this equation. So this equation means I can write it as 2u by v1. If I cancel this v1 and v1 square in the denominator, I can write 2 into speed ratio phi. Cos alpha 1 minus phi is the speed ratio, 1 plus cbk. Out of this, 1 plus cbk is a constant. It cannot be made as 0. But cos alpha 1 minus 2 phi, I can make it 0 because alpha 1 is varying from 0 to maximum. Speed ratio can also vary. Okay. So for the given blade, speed ratio and alpha 1 we can vary. So what I'll do after differentiating, I will get, see here, differentiation, how they have done. After differentiation of this cos alpha 1 into phi minus phi square, after differentiating, I will get cos alpha 1 minus 2 phi. So this I can equate to 0. If I equate to 0, I'll get phi. The phi value should be cos alpha 1 by 2. Then blade efficiency will be maximum. So how it is maximum? I'll substitute this phi value as cos alpha 1 by 2 in the main equation, that is blade efficiency, to make it maximum. So 2 phi, I'll write 2 cos alpha 1 by 2 into bracket cos alpha 1 minus phi. So phi I'll again replace with cos alpha 1 by 2 into bracket 1 plus cbk. So once you substitute all these values, 2 and 2 here it will get cancelled. Inside 2 will remain as it is. Cos alpha 1 outside it will remain as it is. Okay. Cos alpha 1 minus half cos alpha 1 is half cos alpha 1. So this cos alpha 1 into cos alpha 1 is cos square alpha 1 by 2, or half cos square alpha 1 into 1 plus cbk. So considering losses, I am going to consider CBA and K values as given in the problems. If losses are not given or losses are negligible, Then I can say this maximum blade efficiency is nothing but if you consider CB as 1 without any losses or friction factor as 1, I can write 1 plus 1 as 2. So 2 will get cancelled here. So we left with maximum blade efficiency can be given as cos square alpha 1. Okay. Now for which alpha 1 the maximum efficiency will be maximum. So you can see in the diagram here, if the phi value is half, speed ratio if it is half, as we have seen in the Pelton turbine, same. In the Pelton turbine also we have seen that velocity of the steam should be double or velocity of the blade should be half of the steam velocity or the water velocity. Then only what will happen, the blade velocity, the blade efficiency will be maximum. So you can see here how the blade efficiency varies from minimum to 100%. So 100% is possible when the blade speed is half than the fluid velocity in general case, or steam velocity you can say. Later, using this again I can say at what value the work done is maximum. So this you can take it as homework, how to find out work done maximum. Okay, until this is clear, derivation steps are clear to all of you. Hello. Yes, sir. Okay, see derivation, what you do all of you, you take the Pelton turbine maximum blade efficiency equation or the derivation and compare it with the steam turbine blade efficiency. Both are impulse turbines, both are same turbines, both are tangential flow turbines. If you just compare, you will understand what is the difference between these two derivations, almost similar. Okay, so now we'll go to the next concept. So compounding is done. Yeah. Now notes is theory part is over. Now we'll come to the problematic part. So all of you, I request everyone to take one paper and pen, or if you have compass box with protractor and what you say that divider with a protractor, and one more is there, a pencil and a divider, so that all geometry box equipments you can take and can practice how to draw this velocity triangle using graphical or the actual scale. Okay, now we'll take the first problem. All of you can see the screen. Yeah. So here question given, all of you focus on the question. Why? Because in the exam or in the test, only question will be given. Depending upon the words, depending upon the sentence made in the question, you have to analyze the problem and you have to draw the steam velocity triangles, inlet and outlet both. And you have to find out the actual values of the questions using graphical only, not by analytical method. Analytical method may be used, but using the analytical method also, you have to draw the graphical method and you have to prove the solution. Now we'll see the first question. The following data refers to a single stage impulse turbine. So already I have told all the problems which I have considered here are nothing but single stage. You can see here steam flows through a nozzle. Okay, one nozzle, and steam come out from the moving blades, means one stage. Next problem, steam issues from a nozzle means one stage of nozzle, and turbine is D-level turbine, symmetric blades means only one stage. Next problem you can see all problems are one stage. In a stage of impulse turbine, over, only one stage, no multiple stage problems. An axial flow impulse steam turbine has a mean rotor diameter, speed ratio, all these things are given, but only with the one blade and one nozzle conditions are given. So all these problems are with reference to only single stage only. Is that clear? No multi-stage problems. So any books if you refer, don't refer any multi-stage problems. Next, so in this single stage impulse turbine, so impulse turbine means degree of reaction is zero. Later we'll see what conditions can be taken. Steam velocity. Steam velocity means steam coming out of the nozzle. That velocity is 800 meter per second. Blade speed U. Blade speed is U. 300 meter per second. Nozzle angle. Nozzle angle at inlet. Alpha 1 is given 20 degrees. Blade outlet angle. Blade outlet angle is what? Beta 2 is given 25 degrees. Neglecting effect of friction. So K we have to neglect means K value is 1. VR2 by VR1 value is 1. So I can say without friction, if you neglect the friction, I can write VR1 is equals to numerically or with the scale. VR1 is same as VR2 is given in the problem. What is the question asked? Calculate the power developed. So whenever you calculate the power, means we have to multiply work done with the mass flow rate. Please keep in mind, once you multiply work done and mass flow rate of the steam or water kg per second, that will become power, kilowatt or kilojoules per second. That we need to find out. Power developed by the turbine. For the steam flow rate, that is mass flow rate of 25 kg per second is given. Also calculate the axial thrust on the bearings. So before going to this, we'll see what is this axial thrust. So that is clear from this diagram. Axial thrust means steam is flowing parallel to the shaft. So axial thrust is also developed on the axial bearings or the thrust bearings in the axial direction, that is in the VF direction. All of you clear what is axial thrust? Thrust created by the axial forces, axial flow forces. So difference of VF1, VF2 or delta VF if you find out and multiply that with mass flow rate, one can find out what is the thrust or what is the force generated in the axial direction or in the shaft direction. Point is clear? What is axial thrust? Hello, network is clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Axial thrust, all of you understood?
Yes, yes, sir.
We are taking mass flow rate into delta VF because VF is the flow direction velocity. Flow direction means axial direction. So in the axial direction, what is the difference of velocity is there? That much axial thrust will be created. Next. Sometimes they'll ask for the tangential thrust, for the tangential bearings. If they ask for the tangential thrust, what I can find out? I can find out what is the delta VU. VU1 plus VU2 or VU1 minus VU2. Okay, this difference of VU1 and VU2 into mass flow rate. If you find out what is the tangential force acting on the blade, I can find out. So that equation you can see in the problem. So coming to the what things to be found out? Things to be found out is axial thrust, that is mass flow rate into delta VF is written here. Then for work done, we need work velocity or delta VU into blade velocity U. This already we know in all the problems, in all chapters. Power developed, as I told, work done into mass flow rate. This thing you have to remember. Next. First step, what we are going to do is, depending upon the values given in the problem, we have to set the scale. So better you draw this velocity triangle in the graphical sheet. Why graphical sheet? I will explain later. So graphical sheet, first thing is for the accuracy of the results. Graphical sheet is very best. And also for the angles and drawing horizontal and perfect vertical lines, graphical sheets are very good. So in exam you have a booklet, in that we have graph sheets with perfect horizontal and vertical lines. That graph sheets you can use at the end, and while solving a problem you mention there the problem solution is given in the graph sheets at the end. Okay. Next is decide the scale, what scale to be drawn, because whenever the values are given, here values are given very near to 1000. So if the values are near to 1000 or in between 1000, you can take the scale as 1 is to 100. All of you note down. Here in this problem, I can take the scale 1 is to 100, means every 100 meter per second is nothing but 1 centimeter. If it is 800 meter per second, divide this by 100, I will get 8 centimeter. Point is clear. One more problem I'll show you how they have taken the scale. If the values are nearby 500, see here, now it is half, 450 meter per second, 100 meter per second, like this, half values are there. No values are in 1000. So what scale they have taken? 1 is to 50. So if it is nearby 500, you take 1 is to 50 scale. If it is nearby 1000, you take 1 is to 100 scale. You can see 1 is to 100 scale because values are in 1000, problem values are in 1000. Like this, they have decided the scale. Here also you can see the scale 1 is to 50 or 1 is to 40. As maximum scale, if you take for the graph, because graph sheet is A4, in that A4 you have to fit the diagram. So maximum 12 centimeter or 10 centimeter you can fit it and get the accurate results. If you go on reducing the scale for small diagram, accuracy will be very less. Next. Okay, so u is given. So first we need to start from any problem given. We have to start from v1, u and alpha 1. Please keep in mind. So v1 is given 800 meter per second. So I have taken scale of 1 is to 100. I'll take 8 centimeter. So v1 I will mark from a horizontal line. So draw one horizontal line. Draw the velocity triangle either bottom side or the top side. Either left side you can show inlet velocity triangle, or right side you can show inlet velocity triangle, depends on you. Anyhow you draw the scale, depending upon the scale and depending upon this alpha beta how you have considered, you will get the results. So in this problem they have taken left side inlet velocity triangle, right side outlet velocity triangle. So depending upon that left side inlet velocity triangle, they have taken alpha 1 here. So with this horizontal line, on the horizontal line, they have marked u, which is given in the problem, 300 meter per second. So they have taken AB line. First procedure is draw AB line horizontal or any inclination also. AB 3 centimeter, meaning is 3 into 100, 300 meter per second is drawn. That is AB. Now from B, or A also. A if you draw, it will be alpha 1 here. V1 alpha 1 you can draw on right side, or V1 alpha 1 as shown you can draw on the left side. So alpha 1 is how much? 20 degrees. V1 is how much? 800 given in the problem. So it is 8 centimeter. So keeping 20 degree at B, I'll extend this V1 line in 20 degrees up to 8 centimeter. Once 8 centimeter is over, I'll mark this point. I'll rename this with some alphabet. So ABC, once you complete, now here comes the challenge. Now from C to E, you have to draw perfect vertical line which should be 90 degree to line AB or line EF. It should be perfect 90 degree. For this, we need the graph sheet. Okay, or else in the plane sheet also you have to make horizontal and vertical box like this. Later parallel to that vertical line you can draw this C to E. Are you understanding my point? So go on drawing these parallel lines CE with a vertical, perfect vertical line, or you make a habit of getting perfect 90-degree line between EF and EC. So this C to E line becomes VF1. So how many of you understood up to this point? You can message me or you can reply yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Simple, no? Yes. Once this is completed, I found out u v1 given in the problem, alpha 1 is given in the problem, vf1 indirectly given in the problem because with a triangle I am getting vf1. Next procedure is this point is fixed, but we cannot find out d, we cannot find out this a also because at what point beta 1 beta 1 2 should be drawn we don't know. So for this what we have to do is using this vf1, once it is found out, okay, vf1 is found out, what I'm going to do is they have told in the problem that vr2 and vr1 I can consider as 1 or I can neglect the friction factor. So neglecting the friction factor, I can draw it as 1. Means once you find out VR2 or VR1, that is nothing but both are same. Okay, so from the graph, how to find out? From the graph, how to find out means indirectly we know point A here because U is given in the problem. So AB distance is known. B already we have drawn one line here. But from A to C, which line joins? As per the rules of velocity triangle, end of U or at beta angles A, if I join the line A to C in the triangle, I will get VR1. Once you get VR1, measure it from the scale. If it is 5.28 centimeter, means multiply 5.28 into 100. It will become 528. So VR2 and VR1 both are same. I'll take 528 on the left side, 528 on the right side. Both will be equal. So here they have shown one diagram. It is to the scale or not to the scale, I don't know. But you can practice by pencil and scale and you can find out whether it is 528 same and how you'll see the velocity triangle. So VR1 already have drawn. Once you drawn VR1 because A is fixed here, VR1 is drawn 528. You can find out beta 1. So beta 1 is how much? 31 degrees from the graph. Okay. So from the graph we have got 31 degrees. Now from A to E you can join the line. Now line B to E becomes VU1 is shown here. Line or distance between B to E is VU1. Later, once VR to end is known, 528 meter per second we have drawn. This point I will rename it as D and I will extend the vertical line perpendicular to this AB or perpendicular to EF line. Once this line is drawn, you will get VF2. So you find out VF1 275 meter per second, VF2 from the graph I found out 220 meter per second. Okay, so already point A to point D you have drawn VR2. Now to find V2, already point P is also fixed here because of U. So simply what I'll do, I'll draw from point B to D. I'll join a line here and I'll call it as V2. So angle between V2 and this BF is nothing but alpha 2. So using this graph, I can write alpha 2 as 51 degrees. V2, how much you got from the graph? 286 meter per second. So in the graph, I'll write the steps. What is the steps? First step is to draw AB. I'll repeat once again the procedure of graphical method. As given in the problem, AB I have drawn horizontal line. As per this diagram, from point B or point A, you can draw V1. So V1 with alpha 1, both are given in the problem. Alpha 1 is 20 degrees. At 20 degrees, I'll draw V1 8 centimeters. Once this is completed, point A is free here. So from point A to C, if we join, we will get VR1. And from the problem, they have told it is frictionless. If it is frictionless, what I can do? I can consider VR1 is equals to VR2. Why? Because neglecting the effect of friction, it is mentioned. So I'll draw 528 on the left hand side, A to C. Same from A to D, also I'll draw 528 with a different angle. What is the angles? From graph I am getting 31 degrees at beta 1, beta 2 as 25 degrees I am getting. Once you complete the left hand side triangle, on the right hand side outlet velocity triangle, we left with B and D points. So once you join this BD line, I will get alpha 2 and V2. So this completes the velocity triangle by graphical method. After this, our question is to find out the power developed. So directly go to VU1 plus VU2. Why plus? Because you can see the directions here. VR2 direction is right side, VR1 direction is on the left side. So both are opposite. I can add. So VU1 is 752, VU2 is around 178 from the graph. Okay. So here also written there. So using that values, any network issue until now?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
The points are clear now what I am explaining.
Yes, sir.
So by this you will find out the sum of VU, or I can say delta VU, is 930 meter per second. So for work done, we are going to consider for 1 kg with or without mass, U into delta VU. So U into delta U VU is nothing but 300 into 930. So if you check by calculator, so always as per our reference, we have to write in kilo joules or kilowatts as answer. So what I'll do here is this 2,79,000 joules per kg, I will divide by 1000. So once you divide by 1000, I'll get 2.79, sorry, 279 kilojoules per kg. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, you go by power equation. I'll take 1 minute break here. ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ಇದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ತೊಗೊತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಯಸ್ ಸರ್ ಈಗ ಕೂತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್ ಓಕೆ 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 ಹೌದು ಓಕೆ ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು BF14 ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ತೊಗೊತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಸರ್ ಎಸ್ ಸರ್ ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಓಕೆ ಎಸ್ see finding the power all of you already know what to be done. So any doubts in this power and work done equation and values?
No, sir.
Okay, next to find out the axial thrust. So as I told, first we need to find out the difference of Vf and you have to multiply with the mass flow rate. So mass flow rate is given in the problem 25 kg per second. Vf1 from the graph it is 275 minus Vf2 220. So difference we need to find out using that difference here Vf1 and Vf2. On the right hand side you can see the values. Okay, so that delta Vf, how much is created, that much axial thrust is generated on the bearings. Getting my point? This axial thrust is not useful for blades to rotate in the tangential direction. This thrust is generated and it is going west in the turbine. It is just acting on the bearings, not on the moving blades. So around 13 or I can say 1.375 kilonewtons force is wasted in the axial thrust or only on the bearings. Point is clear?
Yes, sir.
Next problem. This is very very important.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can we draw this diagram in reverse form like base the AB line and above CD line?
Above AB line.
Yes, sir.
Above AB, no? As per our regular classes, yes. You can draw. Even C and D points what you are seeing now, left and right, this also you can reverse. That is also correct. Okay? That's why in the PPT I have taken all types of velocity triangles, left side, right side, top, bottom, whatever. But this horizontal line, EF and AB, what you can see is the reference. Clear? Yes, any other doubts? No doubts?
Sir, A to C,
1 minute.
we are in a discussion. One.
A to C. I'm not getting.
Yes, sir.
No, what is the question?
I mean,
Huh.
we took A to C, we are one line.
A to C as
We are one line, sir. We are one and we are. With 528.
ha ha ha. Okay.
Yes.
VR1 and VR2 528Y.
Yes.
Okay. So in the question you can see in the question they have told neglecting effect of friction. So on the blades, if you recall the Pelton turbine equations or the design of the Pelton turbine also, if you neglect the effect of friction, friction factor is what? K equal to VR2 by VR1. If you neglect the friction factor, K will become 1. Means VR2 will be equal to VR1. So in that case, once you draw, see here, once you draw this gap, what is the gap? Gap generated here is A to C. Once you join this AC line, you will find out beta 1 and VR1. Once you find out this, it is VR1 is same as VR2. So 528 for VR1 and VR2 same they have to take. This is only sketch. By scale, I have not drawn. If you draw with the scale, you will understand how it looks.
Yes.
So in that case, beta 2 and beta 1 will be different, but VR1 and VR2 will be same.
Yes.
Okay,
Understood, sir.
okay. So please, no.
Length of,
Yes. Any other doubts?
length of V2,
How to get V2?
length of, no, sir, length of VR2, sir.
Length of VR2 528.
No,
VR2
sir.
by. No, here what I'm telling is the diagram which is shown here is not to the scale, just for reference. The diagram is not to the scale, just for reference it is taken.
Yes, sir.
If you draw with graph sheet, with all geometrical tools, with pencil, with pen, whatever, with scale if you draw no, you will get the clear picture. Understood?
Yes.
Okay, still any other doubts? This is one of the procedure for simple velocity triangles. When u v1 alpha 1 is given in the problem stating neglect friction factor, neglect whatever, is one of the simple method. All of you understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this second problem is very very important. This teaches us what is the different method to draw the velocity triangle. See the question here, very interesting. This is the favorite question in many question papers. If you take VTU whatever, in any university also, this is the favorite question of all the professors. Let me read the question and understand the question. Steam flows through the nozzle. So just all of you see, don't listen the lecture. You just imagine what I'm telling. Steam flows through the nozzle means steam is coming out of the nozzle means V1 with a velocity of 450 meter per second. So steam velocity is coming out of the nozzle. So I have taken V1 450 meter per second. So 450 meter per second means scale also I'll take 1 is to 50. 450 divided by 50 I'll take and I will draw V1. Okay, scale also I have told. At a direction which is inclined to an angle of 16 degrees, 16 degrees, the nozzle or the steam flow is inclined, is nothing but nozzle angle alpha 1 at the inlet side, 16 degree, to the wheel tangent. What is wheel tangent? With u, with respect to u, alpha 1 is how much? 16 degrees is given in the problem. V1 is given, alpha 1 is given. Next, steam comes out of the moving blade. Can you tell anyone? Steam is coming out of the moving blade with a velocity of 100 meter per second. Whether it is VR1, VR2 or V2. And why they have taken it as V2? You tell me. See here, the words, the steam is coming out of the moving blade at a velocity of 100 meter per second. It is not coming in the direction of blade. This should be clear in mind. It is not coming in the direction of the blade or it is not tangent to the blade profile. That's why steam flow direction is taken V2. V2 is taken as 100 meter per second. Now see the direction. In the direction of 110 meter, 110 degrees with the direction of blade motion. This sentence is very, very important. 100 meter per second V2 is coming out in the direction of 110 degrees with the direction of blade motion. You see the velocity triangle. Blade motion, how it is taking place? U. With the direction of the blade U tangent to the blade from this to the V2 angle is 110 degrees. Or in general, you can keep in mind alpha 2 in 90% cases, it is not more than 100 degrees. So what they have taken with reference to the tangential direction of the blade, it is 110 degrees. So from alpha 1, if you measure from alpha 1 or the tangent base, if you measure, it is 110 degrees. Means alpha 2 dash is given in the problem. So find out alpha 2. How to find out alpha 2? Alpha 2 is equals to 180 minus 110. It is 70 degrees. Alpha 2 is given indirectly, not directly. 110 degrees is not with respect to this VU2. It is with respect to blade speed. 110 degrees given. Point is clear, all of you?
No, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is about the given data in the problem. What to find out? Power developed. You know, all of you, how to find out the power developed. Next question, the power lost due to friction. How much power is lost due to friction? So friction means it is present here. Earlier problem they told friction, neglect it. Next we need to find out axial thrust. We know the formula how to find out axial thrust. You can go through that. Blade efficiency we need to find out. We know the formula. We can find out the blade efficiency. Lastly we need to find out blade coefficient. Blade coefficient means friction factor. How much is the friction factor or the blade coefficient VR2 by VR1? We can find out. All these factors can be found out once we solve this problem by graphical method. So to start with this, I will go by this graphical method. So before that, I have to check what are the other things are given here. Other things which I didn't read is after this 110 degree with the direction of blade motion, they have given the blades are equiangular. What is the meaning of equiangular? beta 1 is equals to beta 2 means it is a pure impulse turbine. Yes, no? And steam flow rate is 10 kg per second. Steam flow rate means mass is given here in the problem. Now in the entire problem, if you see, it's very interesting that u is not given only. Beta 1, beta 2 they said equal, but beta 1, beta 2 is also not given. Now, how to start with? It's very interesting problem, very challenging also. Once you solve this, you will feel the sweetness of this problem. See here, what they have done as per our reference, as you were asking the doubts. Why not V1 on the right side? Why not V2 on the left side? Why it is on the bottom side? Triangles are above side. We have taken the regular case. One horizontal line you have to draw. On that horizontal line, we cannot fix this U because U we don't know. All of you understood? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So simply draw a horizontal line. On that horizontal line, what we know is alpha 1 16 degrees, okay, V1 450 meter per second. Only these two things we know at present, and alpha 2 we know 78 degrees. See here, V1 450 meter per second, alpha 1 16 degrees, V2 100 meter per second is known, alpha 2 is known 70 degrees, or from tangent angle, from blade speed angle, alpha 2 dash 110 degrees, you find out alpha 2. Alpha 2 is 180 minus 110. If you find out, it is 70 degrees. Then later case we have to check beta 1 equal to beta 2. With that we have to find out VR1, VR2, VF1, VF2, everything. But how to start with? So simply draw a horizontal line, mark one point, either left side or right side, mark one point, and draw alpha 1 and V1, either right side or left side, left to you. But my reference, or in this book reference, they have taken alpha 1 and V1 right side. So they started with the left side. Clear? So just they are marking one point here on the left side to draw with this horizontal line at 16 degrees. They will mark now 450 by 50. That scale. With that scale, they will draw 450 meter per second V1. Once this V1 and alpha 1 is drawn at point A, see here, right side point A is shown, alphabetical A is shown. From that, you drop a vertical line to the horizontal line. You will get VF1. Up to here, the step is clear.
Yes, sir.
Until now, we have drawn only three lines. One line is horizontal line. Second line is V1, 450 meter per second with alpha 1 16 degrees. And we have dropped a vertical line from A to this bottom line. That completes three lines. After this three line, this is very interesting. Now what to do? Next is V2 is given because V2 and alpha 2 will start from the same point, correct? So from the same point, I will take alpha 2 70 degrees. V2 how much they have given? They have given 100 meter per second as V2. So V2 100 meter per second, alpha 2 70 degrees, 70 degrees I'll take, and I'll draw one line on the left side because inlet velocity triangle here it is drawn on the right side. Left side I will draw the outlet velocity triangle V2 and alpha 2. Once you complete this V2, from the tip of this V2, you drop a vertical line that shows VF2. So after VF2, VF1, V1, V2, we don't know VR2, VR1, we don't know beta 1, beta 2. Only the condition they have given beta 1 is same as beta 2. But what is the depending upon that condition, values of we don't know. Now, as I told you, the bottom side velocity triangle, okay, top side velocity triangle both are same, both are mirror images. What they have taken the condition is either you can extend this vf to bottom side up to b, or extend it vertically downside equal to vf2, vf2 on the top side equal to vf2 on the bottom side. You extend it and extend this vr1 line, or vr1 line, or from a. See here, from A, if you extend, we don't know the point where U cuts, correct? So from point A to point B, you can just meet one line here. Or one more procedure I'll tell you. Extend this VF1. VF1 on the top side should be equal to VF1 on the bottom side. You extend it. Okay. Once you take the VF1 bottom side, that end point, that end bottom point to this top line VR2, you can extend. Both lines will cut at one point here, at beta 1 or at U. Are you understanding, all of you, the procedure what I'm telling? Yes, Kaburmat.
Yes, sir.
Did you understand this step VF2 and VF1 as I told?
Yes, sir.
Understood, no, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, even you can draw V1, V2. You can exchange the right and left side. Also, you can draw top to bottom velocity triangles also. Anywhere you can draw. Scale should be correct, angle should be correct. That will solve your problem. Even you can draw these velocity triangles in vertical direction also. Like this. Like this also you can draw. This is also 100% correct. Okay. So using this procedure, mirror images of the velocity triangle are same. Either you can take Vf2 equal to Vf2 in the bottom side, or Vf1 on the top side equal to Vf1 on the bottom side. Both you can take same as it is. Then join tip of the top triangle to the bottom, or A to B. I think all of you can see point A and point B how you got. Point B I have got extending this Vf2 of same length in the bottom side. I have got point B. Point A I have got by drawing from a fixed point alpha 1 16 degrees, V1 450 meter per second with scale of 50. I have got point A. Once you join this point A to B on left hand side like this, or else from point A, from V2 or VR2 to this bottom of VF1, you will get one cutting point here. That cutting point, if you measure the length in horizontal direction from alpha 1 to beta 1, you will get tangential speed of the blade, that is u equal to 167 meter per second from graph. Understood? Any reply?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So now once you get beta 1 and alpha 1 or u, these 2 points on the base or tangential blade speed at the bottom, now I can start drawing VR1 and VR2. Okay. In the question, condition given is equiangular blades. You can see the question here. The blades are equiangular. Beta 1 equals to beta 2. But we don't know what is the angle. So to overcome that problem, you just join right side of the U, right side of the U point towards A, and right side of the point U towards tip of the VF2 or tip of the V2. If you join these two, I'll get VR1 and VR2 values. That is nothing but VR1 is 293, VR2 is 222 meter per second. Then check beta 1 and beta 2. By graphical, beta 1 and beta 2 both are same, that is 25 degrees. Okay, now you find out delta VU. So as VU1 and VU2 are in opposite directions, I can add them and I can multiply with the mass flow rate and I can multiply with the blade speed to find out the power developed. So U into delta VU is work done into mass is power developed. So that is done at the bottom. And for axial thrust, you can find out delta VF. VF1 minus VF2. If VF2 is more, but for steam turbines, for turbines, always VF1 will be higher than the VF2. If it is a pump or compressor, it's opposite. So take just difference of VF values. Delta VF into mass flow rate. You will get axial thrust. Then power loss due to friction, if you want to find out. So power loss means the loss in the enthalpy or loss in the energy or loss in the pressure energy. If you want to find out, I can write delta hf into mass flow rate. But here in the problem given, enthalpy change is not mentioned. So what we are doing, in place of enthalpy change, we are writing the pressure energy loss due to friction in terms of relative velocities. So this we have seen in alternate form of Euler's turbine equation. In that we have seen the this relative velocity difference, Vr1 square minus Vr2 square by 2. So from the graph we know Vr1 and Vr2. So using this I can find out what is the change in the enthalpy or change in energy itself due to pressure difference or due to relative velocity. So 293 square minus 2 square divided by 2 and divided by 1000 because I want to get in kilojoules, not in joules. So they have taken divided by 1000 also. So 18.28 kilojoules per kg enthalpy change is happening. That is a drop in pressure or drop in energy happening. So this drop in energy for a given mass of 10 kg per second, if you multiply, I will get the answer. How much power is lost? 182.8 kilowatt energy is lost. Okay, so this completes how to find out power lost, power developed, and axial thrust. So three questions are over. Now another two questions left is blade efficiency and blade coefficient. So blade efficiency or rotor efficiency is nothing but work done by kinetic energy, or I can write 2u into delta vu divided by v1 square. So all these values you know from the graph. 2 into u is to 167, delta vu is 466.8, means sum of work velocity 466.8. V1 or the inlet of the steam is 450 square, that is also taken. Efficiency of the blade is 77%. Next is blade velocity coefficient or friction factor, that is K equal to VR2 by VR1, or I can say CB equal to VR2 by VR1. So as both values are different, I will get some friction factor. So friction loss is around 25%. Coefficient or the blade velocity coefficient is 0.758. So take 1 minute, go through the equations, what you have done here in last three steps. Still any doubts in the graphical solution or substitution of these values, you can just put a message or you can ask me.